It's Otaku time!
Hey! What's going on, friends? Welcome to Otaku Time, the show where we talk about anime, manga, and all things otaku. I'm your host, Dom, your weeb, and we have our two normies here, Strolly
Hi.
and Marley.
Hi.
Why does he get the deep voice?
'Cause
I'm cooler.
it's time!
Yes, queen.
Yes. Oh, man, I'm hyped. Do this for every episode.
Yeah, right?
So, this week, we are talking about Berserk.
Mm,
Now, I want to go over a little bit of the history first.
okay.
So, Berserk was written by Kentaro Miura, and he created his first manga at the age of 10.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Yes.
Really?
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That's tight. I have so much more respect for it now. Not impressive.
So, the Berserk manga started in 1988.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
And is still continuing on to this day.
My
Oh, my God.
It's got to suck. Imagine picking that up in 1988.
And here, I have a deluxe version of the manga.
Ooh,
Second volume.
Pretty.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that
I
is
will
actually
say.
super
So,
tight.
hard and leathery.
I know. I love the way that looks. Like, I want to buy that just to have it because it looks cool.
Yeah.
And this one has the start of the Golden Age arc, and it goes until Casca gets, she has her period and falls off the cliff.
Ah.
Mm.
Oh, okay. That scene makes more sense now.
You didn't realize that's...
I didn't really put two and two
Oh my
together.
God.
That was why.
Men.
I was like, wait.
To be fair, I didn't really grow up with a girl in the household.
He
so.
said it in the movie.
Well, yeah, but like, I didn't find that that was her being sick. I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, like, I understand that. Yeah, okay, that happened, but I was like, oh, neat. I didn't think that was like, oh, she was sick because she had a period.
Shame. Anyways,
yeah,
Dom.
sorry.
It's getting cut.
Yeah.
So, anyways, his artwork is super detailed. Like, if you just let me find some random page here. Yeah, look at that. Here's Nosferatu
Oh, shit.
Zod.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that's
that
really
looks
good.
really good.
yeah. So, and this is his early work, like more up to date stuff, like around current, is much better.
Oh shit.
So,
That is really
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
So, Berserk has had a few adaptations. We watched the 3 movies version that came out in 2012 and 2013.
Mm-hmm,
The first adaptation was the 1997 anime. It also covers the Golden Age arc.
Okay.
And there's also the 2016/2017 anime, which no one should watch and is complete garbage.
What makes it garbage?
So, you know how the movies are 3D
Yeah.
for action scenes and whatnot?
Yeah.
Think of those scenes, but done way worse. Like the quality of animation.
I'm not into that.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah, no. Is the story good though?
What is it? What does it cover?
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what it covers?
It doesn't cover the Golden Age arc. I think it covers some, because I heard it doesn't cover the Black Swordsman arc, which is the very first arc of the manga, which takes place after the Golden Age arc. So
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, but I hear it is complete and utter garbage, and no one should watch it.
Copy.
Sweet.
I won't.
I share that opinion now. Will not watch.
Can confirm.
So let's move into the actual movies themselves.
Mm-hmm.
What were your general opinions?
You first. You first. You're
okay.
positive.
I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the plot. Up until the last 45-ish minutes. I mean, not that I didn't enjoy it, but holy fuck did it get weird. The animation was weird. It was wonky. I didn't like the 3D animation that they did for the fight scenes. I didn't. It felt foreign. It just felt really weird. But other than that, I did enjoy it. I was captivated by it, so I was able to I enjoyed watching all three of the movies. The first one really, when I first started watching it, I was really confused because obviously you kind of go like normal people would go into that and like have a preconceived idea about what's going on. I was like, that's a person. But all in all, I did enjoy it. Yeah.
I didn't have much of a great time watching it. I'm going to be totally honest. The animation took me way far out of enjoying it. I didn't like the 3D animation whatsoever. But oddly enough, like I can't say that I didn't want to. I wanted to stop watching it at any time. Like I wasn't having a great time, but I wanted to finish watching it.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Like the story wasn't bad. The story was pretty interesting. I thought it was pretty clear like what kind of things were gonna happen. Like the last 45 minutes of that third movie, 50 minutes, I think was exemplary. Personally, like that stood out. Like that was the first. Those sequences with the demons was probably like it worked for the animation.
Yeah.
Everything. It's because of how weird the movement was within that animation. The human to human combat was really jarring.
Awkward.
Yeah, it was really awkward, really jarring. They looked like rag dolls, almost kind of flailing around and things were happening.
Yeah.
People were getting cut in half, which was cool, but even then they were like still just flopping around. But when it came to the demons, it totally worked for the way they were designed.
Yeah.
The art style of them.
Yeah.
It made them, because of how jarring it was, it made them look so much more sinister. And just the art style at that point, I was like, I feel like it flipped the switch when the way the art style combined with the animation. It was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And it blew my fucking mind because I was like, what am I watching? Like, am I watching the same series right now?
Yeah.
Like, it was so crazy.
That was really, like, I was watching that and I was just like, what? What is going on?
Yeah, it was like everything changed in an instant. And like they hinted at something greater happening. I don't know how spoilery you want to get into it, but like when it changed, I was like, I'm into this. Like I was super into that last 45 minutes to the end of the movie, and I'm just like, wow, this I'm 100% into. Because I like the how it basically just switched totally to fantasy and like the demonic shit that was happening. I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah,
like this is really interesting. Not saying that the whole Band of the Hawks thing and like what was happening with Griffith wasn't interesting, because I could see how like those plot threads could have played out a different way where it stayed grounded in like a human realm. And I'm like, that would have been interested in that story too. But when it took just a total left turn, which not total, because again, that was hinted at, there was little things that you could see. It was like, oh, something's gonna happen. But when that happened and it changed completely, I was just like, I really like that. But it just took a long time to get there for me.
Yeah. See, that was probably my least, I wouldn't say least favorite part, but like that was kind of like where I was like, I'm scared. Like I didn't hate it, but I was like, what? I was so, it was so quick and different that I was just like, I can't. I'm ready for this to be over.
I want to go back.
Yeah. Get me out.
Yeah. So the Golden Age arc is basically the story of Guts, Casca, and Griffith, like their time together. And so the dynamics between the three of them, I find, is the most interesting part. And everything is dependent upon Griffith's ambition, and like that's what is driving him, and everything he does is for his dream of becoming a king. And then all the people in the Band of the Hawk are, as he says, not his friends, because they serve under him. And to be a true friend, you have to have your own dreams, even if that goes against what Griffith is doing. And that sentence that Griffith overheard that night after he did the assassination,
Guts.
that is, Guts overheard.
Okay, all right.
Call him out.
Sorry. I was confused.
That's the driving point. That's the first thing that leads to all the events that happen that lead up to Griffith turning into Femto, the demon god hand. So all of that, just that one little thing is enough to push everything into the way it turns out.
Like the butterfly effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you look at it from the butterfly effect, it's actually really impressive and it's really cool, right? Because it's just that one line that changes the whole story, right? You can trace it all the way back to one thing.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool. That makes it more enjoyable for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Story-wise, I wasn't really impressed. Like, it wasn't too interesting. Like, I could tell from the very beginning that Griffith was an asshole and nobody should be following him.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm like, why? But then it's kind of like, towards the end of, or the middle part of the third movie was when they were like, when they were surrounding Guts and they were just like, lead us, please, we need, like, you know, they're just kind of begging him, you're the captain, you're so, like, I was kind of like, oh no, men are weak.
Yeah. Yeah. They need someone to follow.
The whole, like, if you don't have your own dream, you're going to follow somebody else's dream.
In a pack of wolves, you need an alpha to lead.
Yeah.
That's what they needed.
And that's kind of like, well, oh, that's why they all went after Griffith, because he was so pressed on his own ambition and his own dream that everybody else was kind of like, I want to follow that guy.
Yeah. That sounds like a cool dream to me.
Yeah.
And he's so charismatic too. And he's always, while he doesn't consider them friends, he still cares about them. So
yeah.
He's so damn pretty.
Yeah.
And that's like an interesting dynamic too, because he is like all angelic looking while Guts is like looks like a mad dog brute.
Yeah.
And turns out Griffith is like the evil guy. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really evil.
Yeah.
Well, those are the most evil ones. The
Or
ones
the
that don't
not so
look
evil
Yeah, the ones
ones?
that don't look evil.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Those
are
are
most
the
evil.
ones that get you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the narrative that was happening kind of led into the whole God Hand thing and that whole transformation. But I also feel like it was so much of like a left turn because of how extreme it was. Like, it was like world-bending shit that happened out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
obviously something kind of like magical or like something was gonna happen. There's something with the Bailet. You could tell because that shit didn't look good. You know,
yeah.
Keeps opening his eyes.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, ugh. You know, I think Guts.
Squish it.
Didn't Guts lose his shit when he saw it the first time?
Yeah.
He was like, what the fuck? You know? Which
Yeah.
I don't blame him. But, like, you could tell, like, something was going to happen. And then, like, the second movie, when he walked past a ferry, and that was, like, the only reference to something extra happening.
Well,
like,
other than from Nosferatu, from the first movie.
Well, yeah.
Nosferatu
But
Zod.
that was in the second movie. Like, the second movie was, like, straight up, like, human shit happening until that little fairy was seen. It's kind of like,
Wait,
I
what?
guess there's more to this world,
Yeah.
weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And then again, third movie just took such a hard left turn. It was so jarring, and I enjoyed what happened up to like from that point on because it was so interesting.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, this world is fucking crazy. There's some wild shit. It's gonna get. There's like a whole like other realm that's opened up, and it was like the possibilities are endless to that point. Whereas the first 2.5 parts of the movies, the first 2.5 movies, because that last 50 minutes could be its whole thing.
Yeah.
Its own thing. The first 2.5 movies was like such a self-contained human story that was interesting from a character standpoint because it's kind of like the whole men are weak without their own dreams. Like Griffith doesn't treat these people as his friends because they don't have the passion and ambition that he does for him to recognize as somebody being his. Like that kind of story stuff is interesting as well. And to see that thread followed through in a more human, believable aspect would have been entertaining, and I feel like would have led to a great payoff as a self-contained story on that part.
Yeah.
But to take that left turn and basically like, not saying that whole buildup doesn't matter, because I'm sure it informs a lot of what happens later on. But I feel like how extreme that change was, that whole story is null and void. Like I don't care about that anymore.
Oh yeah. If you look at the beginning of the first movie and the end of the third movie, the only difference is spooky ghosties. Right? I mean, obviously the first one was the first one was a war.
World changing.
Yeah. But I mean, but that's what I mean. Like you start and end with Guts being a lone wolf. Right. I mean, obviously, in the first one, he was a lone wolf mercenary, right?
Yeah.
And he was fucking shit up.
Yeah.
But like, you kind of like, to me, like we started and ended with the same thing. Like everybody was gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm at square. I feel like I'm at square one again. Just a little bit
one
different.
of a totally different story.
Yeah, it's like square one from a different universe.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, which I think is really interesting for the narrative to take that kind of turn. But then I also feel like it detracts a little bit from it as a whole. Because you look at you can split them into almost two completely different narratives and be like, okay, they both have their points, but like now this is clearly taking precedent because this is world shifting. Events that are occurring as opposed to being a purely like character human driven story in the first narrative.
Yeah. The only thing that the movies 1, 2, and 3.5 or 0.5 of 3 does for the other 0.5 of 3 is explain to you how tough or wrench your feelings enough for that last half.
Yeah.
Because it basically the whole thing is just a build up to see like Griffith be like, nah, fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Bye.
Even like I didn't care about the Band of the Hawk enough for that to be impactful though. I'm gonna be totally honest.
I didn't care about them enough, but I cared about like the supporting characters enough, like Guts, Casca.
Yeah, I cared about Guts. Guts is a badass, especially when I was questioning his decision making skills when he decided to stab at his arm with a blunt sword as opposed to using the sharp side and just kind of
nonsense.
Yeah, I was
questioning.
Oh
I was like,
my
sir,
God.
you know you have two sharp sides, and yet you're just hacking with a blunt end at this point.
Yeah.
Well, jagged end. I was like, you have the strength to just kind of real
It gets
quick.
the job done all the same.
He picks the things up and puts them down, okay? He doesn't think about how to do it.
I feel like he could have saved Casca a little torment on that end, but whatever.
I think it was already fucked.
he gets held
Literally.
down anyway, and then gets his eye poked out. So
Fair.
there's not much he can do there.
Yeah, that was such a bizarre thing. Like the demon was just like,
That's where my pinky goes.
yep, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It was narratively, it wasn't bad on a narrative on either story, but I feel like they were two different stories.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the movies obviously are the shortest. Like they're the highlights of what happens throughout that arc. So you don't get all those little character moments with the rest of the Band of the Hawk, like with Judo, with Rickert, with Corcus, even though he's kind of an asshole.
Corcus.
Yeah, I
don't know why
hated him.
I was gonna call him Casca.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Is Casca another character?
Casca's the
The
woman.
chick.
Yeah.
Casca is the woman.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes,
I knew that was a person.
yeah.
Corcus is the one that always hates on Guts.
Yeah, Cloaca.
Yeah.
What?
Couldn't remember his name. I remembered his name because I was like, Corcus is Cloaca, and then Rickett was Basket.
I
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just couldn't
And
remember.
then Pippin, right? Pippin
Yeah.
was a big,
Yeah.
not blind guy. I
He's
don't know.
not blind. He
He's
just
not-
He
got
always
a-
had his eyes closed.
he
I
got a
was like,
fluffy-
is he blind?
he's
like
got a fluffy
Brock.
face.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Judo.
yeah, so the 97 anime and obviously the manga go more into those characters, so you get more of an attachment with them.
Mhm.
And so when they end up dying at the end, it's like, oh man,
Yeah.
Judo was a cool guy. And
I like Judo. I did like Judo the best. Although I thought it was weird. Did he have feelings for Casca?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, that
'Cause-
last thing I had so much stuff to tell you and then dies.
Yeah, that's where I was like, did he
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
Because he was like, "Oh, I'm like so good. Like I'm such a smooth guy, and
Oh,
I have
yeah,
nothing to say."
well, I think that was his. I think that's how his humor was. Like
Yeah.
he was like, I'm so smooth, but like probably not. Like I took that as like
He's trying
he's
to-
not smooth, and he's just making the last joke. Before
Oh no,
he
he's
died.
definitely smooth. You seen him throw those knives?
Rico Suave.
Yeah. Knock off Link and get it.
Yeah,
Tell me he's not.
bro.
Try to tell me he's
Don't
not.
do him like that, man.
That's why he was my favorite, dude.
That's
I
fair.
remembered his name off break. I was like, "Oh, Judo's a shit."
Yeah, there's a lot of boobies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
Well,
maybe
compared to what we have seen.
yeah, it's up to this point. Which honestly, all those scenes made me kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, they were very.
None of them were hot. Like all the boobage was like, this is kind of gross.
Yeah.
This isn't like a thing. You know, it felt kind of unnecessary to me.
Well, Griffith's scene wasn't that bad. I mean, it was definitely it was
Which Griffith
passionate.
scene?
What?
Which Griffith scene?
His sex scene.
Which sex scene?
There's more than one.
Oh right, yeah. You
Oh,
not the
Jesus.
last one. Not the
well,
last one.
in the essence
No,
of
with
making
the,
me
with the
uncomfortable.
princess. Yeah, that was literally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
With the princess, I mean, I don't know. Maybe uncomfortable might be because she seemed a little young and he seemed
Pretty
a
sure
little old.
She's probably
16.
13.
Yeah,
I was gonna go 13.
that's close enough for Japan. I mean,
You're fired.
fair.
No, it was like, all right, Casca's hot.
Yeah,
You know? But like it felt unnecessary to have her be naked.
yeah.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it because again, Casca's hot. But it was like I could do without it.
She was like the only chick in the.
Yeah.
in
Why
the Band
why
of
make
Hawk.
the only woman in the Band of the Hawks be naked a couple times?
misogyny?
Yeah. Which was like, are you anti-misogynistic with the whole like she's having her period on the battlefield thing, or
Yeah.
which also again I didn't feel like was good.
Yeah, that was a really like bizarre scene.
Yeah, that
Like,
whole like
'cause I
30
was like-
minutes was like really weird.
Oh wow, like I think that's like the first time I've ever seen like a media doing like a period like that. You know what I mean? Like it was such like an intense moment. And he's like, "Oh, that's what it is." I was like, "Oh God, that's interesting."
Yeah.
I was like,
Why are you bleeding?
yeah. "Did you get stabbed?"
What happened? You okay? Do you need a Band-Aid?
Yes, a big Band-Aid.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, going into Casca, the movie doesn't go over like any of their backstories.
Mm-hmm.
So with Casca, she like grew up in a poor family. Her village and stuff was getting blown up all the time from war. And so her parents gave her away to some noble guy. And as they were riding away, the nobleman tried to rape her like on the side of the road. And then Griffith shows up. And then he like cuts the guy's face and throws down the sword towards Casca. And he's like, if you have anything to fight for, pick up the sword. And that's when like the nobleman gets stabbed. That happens in the manga and the 97 anime. And during this flashback scene, it also goes into a little bit more time before Guts joined the Band of the Hawk. Remember the old guy that was the ruler of the like desert like
Genot?
castle place?
Genot
Yeah,
or
right
something.
next
Yeah.
to, right next to Cliff.
Yeah. So back in the day, Griffith sold his body to that guy for like more troops and whatnot. And so that's why they have that history, why that guy said to spare Griffith when they were fighting.
Sold his body in the sense of like
He was banging him.
okay,
Yeah.
which I had a feeling because I think like one or two of the pool girls kind of look like Griffith.
Yeah.
They were really like they had like the same kind of hairstyle or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
that guy's into little boys. So,
Maybe
Yeah, they were
weren't,
all
but
boys. They
Yeah.
weren't girls.
They weren't.
yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Well, that flew over my head, dude. I thought they
Yeah.
were chicks.
No.
And so in the manga and anime, Griffith always seems like he's not affected by anything he does. It's all towards his one goal. It's all towards his ambition. So he does whatever to get to that and never really shows like a weakness towards that.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this flashback, Griffith is bathing in a river and Casca comes out and sees him. And they talk a little bit about like what happened last night because she saw him up in the guy's chambers. And so Griffith is like washing that away. And then like he like grabs his arms and like starts like tearing at his skin in his arms as he's like feeling the regret and like the just like how dirty he
He
feels
can't
from
make
that.
himself clean enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that shows like the vulnerable side to him as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just all like the pure drive of Griffith trying to get to it. It more humanizes him more in
Yeah.
that sense.
I was gonna say I will say I got that feeling a lot watching the movies. That there was a lot of detail missing,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
like a lot of important detail that would make me care a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the movies pretty much painted Griffith to just be like a dick, more or less. You know, like I feel like because obviously he didn't care about the Band of the Hawks
Well,
enough.
I would say like an anti-hero. Like
Nah.
that was my perspective of him because it was like he didn't do bad things. He just didn't care who he affected by doing the things that he wanted to do. For his own goal, he could care less. Like Venom. like from Spider-Man. Like
I guess.
he all he wanted to do was one thing, and he could care less what got in his way.
That's the thing. Like his goals were selfish.
Oh yeah,
he didn't want to be ruler to benefit people. He wanted
Yeah.
to be ruler because he felt like that's his destiny.
yeah.
Like whatever. I don't know if that he felt like it was his destiny. He felt like that was owed to him. He felt like he'd be.
It was
like,
because of the Baylet.
Baylet.
Sorry,
the Beowulf.
the Beowulf. Yeah.
I never thought that Griffith was a good person or that he was a good guy or somebody to root for.
Yeah, no, me neither.
And I feel like that's because a lot of the humanizing details of his story were missing in the movies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was purely about his drive to be king or ruler or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And he wasn't humanized at all.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
I was just say sorry, not to cut you off.
It's fine.
Yeah, I'll do that from time to time. But like the lack of his humanization even goes from like when he first met Guts and was kind of like, you're mine. I own like you're mine now. Like that. Even that's kind of like, the fuck, dude. Like that's not how you make friends.
He wasn't trying to make friends.
I know, but like even that paints him as a dick.
Yeah. Oh no,
Like
absolutely.
I own you. I tell you when to die.
Yeah.
You will die for my dream. Like that whole like that's nothing for me to root for. That's nothing for me to care about you for.
Yeah. I feel like one thing too is if you take that time of into consideration, like the time period that they're in, like back then, fighting for somebody was what you did, right? You fought for someone who you believed in, and dying for that person was honorable. You know what I mean? So I understand like present day, yeah, his words are fucked up, but like back then during that time period, it probably was just like, all right, cool. Like I'm cool with being your slave, whatever, but you're going to feed me, right? And he did. You know what I mean? Like, so I see where you're coming from, but if I put myself in that time period and I was like, all right, this makes a little bit more sense. Like I can kind of get behind this, right? But to piggyback off of Dom's point about seeing that humanization of him, you kind of see a little bit of it after him and Guts' second duel. You know, when Guts beats him and he's just like, he loses it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously silently, but you could just tell like
He's
was
got
always
the
so
wide eyes.
He was always so cool, calm, and collected with everything that he did, and then right then and there, it was just like you could just see that it was almost like his whole life got ripped away from him. You know what I mean?
They drew an eye crease on him. It was like, oh shit, he's losing it.
Yeah. And I found that scene very interesting, and then obviously everything that happened after that, because I was like, Griffith had that monologue at the fountain with the princess and was like, my friend will be my equal no matter if he goes against me. And he was like, he didn't want Guts to be his friend. He wanted Guts to be his warrior.
He wanted
You know what
Guts
I mean?
to be his property.
Well, okay, 6 in one, half dozen in another.
There you go.
Like that's kind of the same thing, right?
Mhm.
Like warrior property. Like again, if you put yourself in that time frame, that's kind of the same thing to him, right? So it was kind of interesting to see him affected so much by it, and it was like Guts was trying to do this to be his friend, and Griffith was like, "Nah, fam, I just want to own you."
I mean, Guts is pretty much the only person that Griffith cares about, even though he might not consider him a friend. Because even when Guts was by himself fighting Nosferatu Zod, he went in there, risked his life to go save Guts.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was just some other random person from the Band of the Hawk, he would have probably not have done that. He probably would have sent in other people to help him out. Just him leaving, that being enough to push him over the edge and to break down and lead to him.
Insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy that like him losing his mind was like, I'm gonna go fuck that princess.
Yeah, right.
Like that his breaking point is kind of like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. And then even like when he was getting tortured, it was almost like he was like okay with it. You know? Not that he enjoyed it. He was just like, yeah, I deserve this kind of thing. You know, I don't know. That's kind of
I lost Guts.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't anything else. There was no other trick. The whole Band of the Hawk were labeled criminals, and they could have all been wiped out. But it was the fact that he lost Guts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, you wanted a friend, and he tries to be your friend, and you're just like, nah, fam, not on my watch.
Fuck Griffith. Go Guts. I wanted Guts to like fuck more shit up. Like
Yeah.
I wish he had his big fucking like 8-foot tall sword.
Yeah,
When
so
he
that
I
was
want
like,
him to fuck demons.
yeah,
up, dude.
that was the one thing I was thinking. I was like, man, you couldn't have wrote that he had his giant sword in during this whole thing. That would be fucking lit.
Yeah.
Well, then you can just pick up the manga.
Read.
Readings for yellow bellies.
I don't know how to do that.
That's why you watch dubs, isn't it?
Exactly. You
No,
saw
he
him,
watches dubs.
I watch dubs.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
like
you watch
subs.
dubs, isn't it?
I don't read.
So, what I have you guys doing for the next 2 weeks, because we have a special episode coming out next week.
Neat.
These 2 weeks, you are going to be watching Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
Okay, hold
That's
on.
a
You're gonna
mouthful.
have to spell that one for me.
Yeah, I need
It's
a
all
reference
English.
for that one.
I know. There's just a lot of words. I was like, all right, so
I already forgot him.
Fate Zero and
Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works.
Fate's Day.
Stay.
Fate.
Send me the link, dog.
Stay. Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna remember it.
Fate / Stay Night. Per the little Dottie Johns.
Colon?
Yeah, my colon. Unlimited Blade Works.
Unlimited Blade Works.
One word.
Okay. What are these on?
Netflix.
Okay.
Sick.
Are they movies or series?
We are 24 episode seasons.
Seasons.
Yes.
2 seasons.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So one season of the one season of the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's for 2 weeks from now?
Yes, because next week we are doing #not hentai.
Ah. Hashtag not hentai.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what the surprise was. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't know either.
I thought I was the only one. That's why I didn't want to say anything. But I'm like, I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, I know. I was rolling with it. I was like, all right, cool, sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that is just going to be you guys reacting to some clips of anime that are not hentai, but get kind of close.
Okay.
Sick. Final thoughts on Berserk?
6 out of 10
Mm.
in total. Like, I enjoyed it, but like the animation style and the 360 that it throws at the end, just it messed my brain up. Maybe if
So
I
it
watched the whole series and then watch that.
You said 360. That it means it's just back to where it started.
I told you, if you take the first season and then, or the first movie and then the end of the third, it's the same time, just with ghosties.
Spooky skeleton.
180. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't actually going for a grade. It's going for more of an overall opinion. But I guess I'll go 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dom's
listen,
upset.
I hated the way it looked. I'm gonna be honest. I hated the way it was animated.
You're
I
gonna
think
hate
a
the
more
way you look.
more classic anime style would have been perfect.
Yeah,
for it.
I agree.
Hated 3D animation. And then, like I said, the 2 narratives were good separately. Way more excited about the second one, the last 50 minutes, but the first 2.5 movies was just kind of like,
Yeah.
maybe again lack of detail. I could tell it's probably way better if I had more backstory and detail.
Mhm.
For movie reasons, you had to cut it down, but for what it is for the movies, 5 out of 10.
What would you call it, Dom?
Well, the movies overall,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like a 7, but the story overall is like 8 or 9.
You mean like the manga and the
And the
okay.
anime and
I
stuff.
could see that.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Given
For sure.
more-
If I had a lot more information and probably had more invested in some of these people, it would be better.
If I had a lot more of that last storyline after they took that left turn, I'd probably completely agree.
That's pretty much what the rest of the manga is about.
Sick. Cool. All
Yeah.
right.
All about getting back at the God Hand and Griffith and all the demons and whatnot.
Yeah.
Tight.
Be more into that. Give me a movie about that.
All right, friends. That's all we got for today.
Yep.
Remember to like,
Mhm.
comment, and subscribe. Please share with your friends and spread the word. All right. Sayonara.
Bye.